Hi, Internet. Welcome to the Grad Troyan YouTube channel. It is Wildcard Wednesday, and I am taking another huge risk again by listening to an unsigned, lesser known band. I am checking out Highway 4 and their song Make Up Your Mind. Looks like released in 2016. There's a music video for this, so I'm going to be watching the music video. I know very little about this band. I just read their press information on their Reverb Nation page. It looks like they are from Pittsburgh, so kind of rivals with people in Cleveland in a number of ways. Those are sort of rival cities, but I don't buy into that rivalry. I don't really care. So I'm just going to be judging this based upon the music, no biases. They mention themselves as being alternative and influenced by Hailstorm and Foo Fighters, two bands I am not really into. I just don't find the songwriting from either band to be particularly impressive. And also, the description of the band calling themselves alternative. I'm typically not as into alternative music. So, those are my biases going in. But the goal on this channel is to be positive, be uplifting, try to say nice things, but also be honest. So if there's stuff that works for me, I'll say it. If there's stuff that doesn't work for me, I'll say it. But, really, really hoping this band is good. Rooting for them, especially, as a fellow, lesser known act. You're rooting for everyone to succeed. You're rooting for the rising tides. And, you don't want to put someone down. So, reacting to these lesser known bands is so uncomfortable and dangerous feeling. But you know what? I think it's an important musical challenge to me. And also, it feels good for the bands to get some recognition. So hopefully, hopefully they're good, and I say the nice things. So fingers crossed. Last week we had a good lesser known band. So let's hope we keep that going. So this is "Make Up Your Mind" by Highway 4, my first reaction.
Making our way to the promised land, dusting eyes and calloused hands. We didn't know the way, yeah, we lost our minds. Spent so many nights at the end of a chain, building an empire in the blood and the rain, till the clouds broke open and the lights came on.
Yeah, so the singer, I believe her name is Kelly. I don't have the other tab open, and I don't want to mess up, the nice little YouTube clip we got going in the corner. She has a very good voice. It's very much a sort of a modern female kind of country voice, which I've noticed that there are so many singers right now that have this kind of style, where in many ways it's almost like the default for country singers. Where there was a singer on my first album who is great, but she also sort of had this kind of vibe, and I hear so many singers who sound like this, and it's not necessarily my preferred vocal styling. But I think it's because it's usually associated with genres that I don't listen to as much. I don't listen to as much country. I still enjoy it. But so it's given this song a bit of a modern country flair. And so if you had told me, oh, this is a country song, I would have believed you, because it's not necessarily, because modern country is so close to rock nowadays anyway, that they're basically the same genre. And a lot of the rock guys in Nashville have moved over to playing country because there's more money in it. So, I mean, if you had just pitched this as a country song, I would have believed you with the set in the barn and all that stuff. And I would say, it's a good melody, and what she's doing well, but it's not necessarily my genre preference. But also, once again, Lizzie Hale is beloved by basically everyone in Nashville, and I'm just not into Hailstorm. And so all my friends are like, "How do you not like Hailstorm? And Lizzie's great, and she's so nice." I'm like, "Yeah, I know. But the songs don't move me." So thus far, it's not really moving me. But once again, I want to give these guys a shot, because lesser known band, whew, the hot seat of reacting to lesser known bands and wanting to be nice. So what I'll say is that it's definitely objectively good, but it's maybe not working for my taste. So I'm going to rewind a hair and go back to it.
Broke open and the lights came out. He said, "Yo, you better make up your mind. Oh, it's never gradient, it's black or white. Say, you're gonna run out of time. Oh, pick up your swords and get going on."
Yeah, so that is the major hook of the song. That's the chorus, and I don't like it, but that's because of my biases. It is because it is a very alternative rock kind of chorus, very Soundgarden esque, where you've got this very powerful wail from a very talented singer, but you have sort of this, descending chord pattern that just leaves a melancholy mood that isn't satisfying to my soul personally. The kind of melancholy and moody music I like typically doesn't fall within the alternative rock genre, and I tend to like with my melancholy music, I prefer, sort of the triumphant sadness and, it to be maybe a little bit more beautiful and pretty and bittersweet. And this is more just a feeling of heartache and heartbreak, but it's not. It doesn't these chordal patterns with that kind of melody is just something that doesn't compute in my soul despite being a 90s baby and listening to 90s bands growing up. I didn't like that stuff, and so because it reminds me so much of the 90s music, it's not working for me because of my biases. But that said, if you like alternative rock, if you like Hailstorm, if you like Foo Fighters, if you like Soundgarden, and you like modern country, this is great because it's checking off all the boxes. So even though I'm recognizing my biases and where it's not working for me, I am recognizing like the quality and the craft of what they're doing, where everyone's playing well, it's well produced, the video, is shot very well, the band looks cool. Everyone is performing greatly. It's just not for me, and I am so uncomfortable right now. But you get honesty, you get truth on this channel from me. So for me, it isn't quite working, but I can see a lot of people who would gravitate towards this kind of thing. And there's still, a lot of song to go, but that is where I am at now. But there are a lot of good elements, and I'm hoping to continue to highlight the good elements as we go forward.
Following light, but the shadows fall. The strength inside to break the wall. Is it hard to see what you know is there? So many doubts when the fire burns red. The thunder rolls, he's in your head. Till the clouds broke open and the lights came out. He said, "Yo, you better make up your mind. Oh, it's never gradient, it's black or white. Singing, yo, you're gonna run out of time. Oh, pick up your swords and get going on."
Yeah, so she's definitely killing it on the vocal. And I will say, actually, the verse I would say I definitely like. I think the verse melody is very good, and like in isolation, I think that's a really great verse. It's just I have the biases that are preventing me from liking that chorus. But it's definitely very catchy. Like I'm not listening to it right now, but it's in my head. So it definitely is strongly crafted, really great pop craft. And once again, everyone is doing very well, well produced. I like the guitar tone, and that verse melody is very, very, very good. And I like, what's going on in the verse. It's just like that kind of chorus, that chordal pattern with that melody isn't my cup of tea. And jeez, I feel so bad. Oh, this is why people don't react to lesser known bands because you don't want to be mean. Because with like a big artist, you're like, whatever, they sold millions of records, so I can shit on them. And I'm not even like negative. It's more just, I have my tastes and my biases. But like they are doing a very good job, and also everyone in this band is better at their respective instruments than I am. So the better guitar player than I am, better bassist, better drummer. I don't even play the drums, but that's easy. And obviously Kelly is a better singer than I am. I'm really not a good singer. I like to fancy myself a good songwriter and a good performer, but not a good singer. I'll be the first to admit that. So everyone on a technical level is at least superior to me. So take my opinion with a grain of salt. But I think once again for fans of the genre, this is very well done, and it only has like a little under 11,000 views at the time of this viewing. I think it deserves more because this is so well done. So even though I'm, like I said, not my thing, I think this does deserve to be more successful than it is.
Run, run, get going. Run, run, get going. Run, run, get going. Oh no, no, run, run, get going. Run, run, get going. Come on, come on, come on, run. He said, you gotta make up your mind. Oh, it's never gray, it's black or white. Saying yeah, yeah, oh, you're gonna run that time. Oh, pick up your swords and get going. La la la, get going. Come on, come on, come on, run. Oh, 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 oh. Run, run, and get going. Oh, come on and run,
All right, well there you go. That was Highway 4 with Make Up Your Mind. So for in case the band sees this, just so you know, my taste, like I'm a hair metal guy. Uh, I'm into just like Rat and Dokken and shit like that. And I'm not into bands like Pearl Jam, and I feel like you guys probably really like Pearl Jam. So like this is me coming from my background. Listening to a band that is inspired by bands that I don't care for, and trying to have like a civil discussion about the difference in taste, where I don't think they're doing anything that is bad at all musically. It's just not my taste. It's not my preference. It's not what I seek out. So I would say, objectively, this is a good song. And I would probably give it a solid A, objectively. So, it wouldn't get an A minus. It wouldn't get an A plus. I think this is an A. It is a well composed, tight pop song, good arrangement, good builds. Everyone is doing their parts extremely well. And you know what? I gave you guys a higher ranking than I gave Tool. Like Tool, their first couple songs. I'm recording this in advance, so I've probably done some Tool videos since then. But I gave their first couple songs that I reacted to on this channel B minuses. So y'all are better than Tool. So you have that at least better than those Tool songs. And oh man, recording in advance. Who knows what my opinion on Tool will be by the time this comes out. But y'all are really good, and I feel like alternative rock is trendier than the kind of music that I listen to. It has much more respect. With the '90s grunge revolution, people looked back at hair metal and sort of stuck up their noses at it and thought, this music is trash, but alternative rock is true artistry. And so, despite me not being a fan of that genre as a whole, there's some exceptions and some bands that I really love within the alternative rock genre. Mostly pre Nirvana's Nevermind, a lot of great '80s alternative rock bands, but I love bands like Smashing Pumpkins. So there's exceptions. But I think that you guys are in a genre that has a lot of respect, and I think what you guys are doing is living up to the legacy of those acts very well in a contemporary setting where I think it's very marketable. And I think you guys, if you so desire, could become very successful. And I am rooting for you because what you're doing well. And even if it's not for me, I know it's for a lot of people. And so I give the song a solid A. Against my biases, I would say this is an A song, not an A plus, not an A minus. I would give it an A. It's once again probably it's not for me, but I can respect the artistry of what's going on here. So, whew, this was so awkward. I hope the band doesn't hate me for this. But luckily at least it was good because if it was just trash, man, this would be really rough. Like if it was bad, if it was just like objectively bad, I'm like, oh geez, what do I say? Like at least it was good. At least I could feel good about that. Like, oh, thank God. Even if it's in a genre I don't like, at least it's good, so I can say nice things. Because I'm so worried I'm gonna get an obscure band and they're just gonna suck. And I'm gonna have to be honest and say they suck. So I'm glad they didn't suck. Yeah, Highway 4, you guys are great. Wishing you the best. If you like this band, please check out more of their stuff. Subscribe to their channel. Give them some love. That is the video. That was more awkward than I was anticipating. Wow, this. All right, well, that's the video. Bye, everybody.